Okay, this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your scenes in OBS Studio. In later ones, I'll show you the workflow of how you can use it to record slides or to broadcast stuff, and I'll tell you about the audio mixer and these controls. In this video, I'm going to show you two areas. So one is the stage up here. So this is where you can see what's going to appear on your stage. And then down here, by the way, that's a morph zoom or a morph transition. You can do this in PowerPoint now. It's very cool. Down here is where you can set up your scenes, and you can put sources within each of those scenes. And if you watched the last video, you know what that means. Okay, so let's see what that looks like in practice. Let's pull up my OBS Studio here, and this is what it looks like when you first start it. So down here, here's my stage, and then down here, I've got one scene with no sources in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 scenes for a typical teaching setup. And the first thing I'm going to do is right-click on this and rename it. And I'm going to call that just me. And then I will make 2 more. I'll use this little plus button down here to add a scene. You can use minus to get rid of them. You can use those arrows to change their order. I'm going to call this one just slides. Okay, and I'm going to add a third one, and I will call it slides plus me. Okay, you can probably guess what I'm going to put into those. So first of all, we'll start with just me, and I need to add some sources here. So first source I'm going to add, again, the little plus button. I need a picture of me. So there are many options for things you can add: audio, color. You can have a colored square, you can have images, you can have media sources, you can play videos directly in here, you can put text, but we are going to start with a video capture device. We're going to call it my webcam. Okay, and oh, there you go. It's found my awful laptop camera off to the side, and I'm going to switch that to my nicer school camera. There you go, a little higher definition. And generally, I just leave all of the defaults. Occasionally, something will be weird. You'll try and present something, and it'll just show you a blank box. And if you play with the options one at a time and then put them back, you can often find some setting which will magically make it work. But I don't have to do that here. You don't have to do that very often. So, okay, there I am. Now, it's somewhat alarming having me covering the entire scene. It scares even me. But what I can do is I can resize this picture of me. I can move it around. I can put it wherever I like. Now, that on its own is all well and good. People can see me now, but they still can't hear me. So I need to come down here, and I need to add another source, and I need to add an audio input capture. So I'll call this my mic, and I will say okay, and then it shows me a couple of different microphones. I'm going to pick that one. Okay, so now I have a mic, and you can see the audio meter here is bouncing up and down as I talk because it's listening to me. And it's listening to the volume levels. Right, now I could be done with the scene now, but I'm just going to add a little bit of decoration. I'm going to add, an image. Okay, we'll call this school. Okay, and where are we? Browse. It'll let me pick my files. Oh, there's AMBS. Very nice. Okay, and we'll put that in there, and we'll say okay, and we'll make it a bit smaller. But now this image is covering me up. So if you look at the sources here, it's like putting pieces of paper onto a table. There's one layer piece of paper on the bottom, and then the next things go on top and will cover up the thing. And you can change the order of those pieces of paper if you want one covering the other one. So I'm going to take that school picture here, and I'm going to move that down through the stack, and then boom, it gets to the bottom. And now here we are. Now my image is covering up that one. So that looks good. And I could also add, if I wanted, some text. I could say cues. I'm going to call it that. Okay, and then I'm going to put some text in here, say any questions. And I could change the font on this, and I could change its alignment and all sorts of silly stuff like that. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to make that a bit smaller here. Any questions? And I'll put that here. And there we go. Boom. That's a scene. And I could keep decorating it, making it nicer. But look, I mean, what was that? Like 2 minutes? I've already got something that's looking a little bit professional even. Now, this is the just me scene. Let's go down to the other scenes. They've not got anything in them yet. So just slides. I'm going to add something onto this one. And I'm going to do a window capture because I'm going to try and capture a slides window. So I'll call this my PowerPoints. Okay. And when I do this, oh, it's offering me Zoom meeting controls. So here are all the windows I have open. There's a PowerPoint, the slides. And if I go to that, it shows you, oh dear, that's quite dramatic here. Where are we? PowerPoint view, right? Oh yeah, okay, so something is gone wacky here. So let's look at what the options are. Capture method, automatic. I'm going to play with some of the options. Oh, right, there we go. So there you go. I played with the options and all of a sudden I can see this now. So if I go back to that PowerPoint, yeah, there we go. There's my slides. So, okay. And now if I change which slide I'm looking at in PowerPoint, this will change. So let me see if I back up a slide and I pull up OBS again, all of a sudden that's what it's showing. And there we go. My just slide scene is set, except I will need to add audio in here. Otherwise, when I switch to the scene, the audience will no longer hear me. So I will go here and add the, where is it? Audio input capture, and we'll add existing, and I'll go my mic, and then I don't even have to change anything. Click that button. Yep, it's selected. Add my mic, and then it's already there, all configured, and it's set. So it remembers things that you set up from one scene to the next. Now I need to set up my slides and me. So here we go. Let's add a window capture, and we'll call this. Oh, in fact, add existing. Add my PowerPoints. There we go. I selected this. Well, I've got to select that. Now it'll let me select this. Here we go. Now I'm going to add a video capture device, and add existing, get my webcam. There I am. Ooh, again, a bit too big. So let's fit these together. Now, I can put my slides over here like that. And now one of the things I can do is if I don't want to grab my slides by accident, I can come down here and I can lock it. And now that it's locked, I can't move that around anymore by accident. And if I want to hide it, I can click this little eye thing. So that's what I've got, right? And then, okay, we'll put it back. Now I can make my webcam a bit smaller, but I kind of have an issue here. My webcam is too long and it's covering stuff up. If I put it like this, at some point, I'm going to have some vital bit of text right here, and then the students won't be able to read it. And if I put it like this, then I'm weirdly off center. But there's an extra thing I can do here. If I hold down the Alt key and drag sides, I can crop it. So I'll hold down the Alt key, make that maybe a little bit bigger. And now I can put that wherever I want. Ooh, maybe make it a little bit bigger. So yeah, there's me. And let's see. So if I'm talking now, can the camera see where I am? Okay, yeah, so I can still wave my hands around and talk, and that's pretty good. So there we go. I've now got 3 scenes. And if I flip between them, there's just the slides, there's just me, any questions, and there's the slides and me. Now, here's the really slick bit. If I want to switch between those in mid-flow, super easy. We come down here and there's this option here for settings, and it'll bring up a menu, hopefully in a second. Oh, here we go. There's various things you can mess around with here, but the one that I'm going to tell you about here is hotkeys. So I can set up things to start recording. I'm going to set up just me. I'm going to set up a hotkey, and I'm going to choose my number 1 on my keyboard for just slides. I'm going to choose number 2 for switch to scene, and for slides and me, I'm going to choose number 3. So those are now hotkeys, and I will press OK. And now when I press 1 on my keyboard, there's any questions. I push number 2. There's my slides. Push number 3, there's the slides with me. And even if I've clicked on another window, that will still work. So if I drag Notepad over here and I start typing something, I have 3 things, whoops, no, no two things, right? It's going to say press two, no one thing. So if you have hotkeys, just be careful what you pick. I usually pick a hotkey to start recording. And then if you're typing that key while you're in a different window, all of a sudden you can start lots and stop lots of little recordings. But for switching scenes, it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3 work just fine. So that is how you set up your scenes. It's really not that hard.